Here's how many additional check-ins.
Here is Kilowatt Alpha 1, Kilowatt November Whiskey, KA1, KNW Mobile. Name here is Greg, Golf Radio Echo Golf, and my current location in the Mobile is here in South Windsor, Connecticut. Hello, Bill. Hello to everybody on the net.
This is the W1 TOM repeater, TL127.3.
Here's some of the other check-ins at this time.
Dave in Wolverhampton, 2 meters, commercial power, no traffic.
Oh, okay. Dylan, portable and bowling.
Get that down. And we went to that. All right.
L7FJ, Rich, West Springfield.
So good evening to all of you guys. Alright, next call queue is for Shredder suffix MNNO. That control is N1 FTC as always do. Here are the check-ins.
Sierra, Charlie, Oscar, Tango, Tango.
We've got a lot of names and numbers go through the old grid here during the course of the week. Thank you for being with us this evening. And this is November 1, Charlie. Taking check-ins for the info net. Listening for check-ins. Let me see where your first letter suffix M, N, and O.
Here is Kilo Charlie 1, Oscar, November Alpha, Brian in Wolverhampton. No traffic. Good evening, Bill. Good evening, everybody.
Fuel Charlie 1 November, we must do her name is John in Springfield. I have no traffic. Good day.
Here is
Bravo 1, November, Oscar X-ray. 31NOS, Bridge Station in Westfield. Yeah, they powered on the 440 link. Good evening, everybody on the net. Good evening, Sal.
Here is
Yes. Here is Fuel Charlie 1 Oscar
Here is
Victor.
Kilo Charlie 1, Oscar Victor Romeo, Dave, Southampton, commercial power, no traffic. Good evening, Bill, and good evening to the net.
That control copy is KC1ONA, KC1NO. Hold on a second. Got KC1ONA, KC1NOZ, KB1NOX, and let's see, I also have KC1OBR. Thanks to all of those for checking in.
Next call group is first letter suffix Q and R.
Here is November 1, Papa, Victor, X-ray, Stephen, Westfield. No traffic. Good evening, all.
Next call group is first letter suffix FT and U.
Here is
This is
Kilo Charlie 1, Sierra Zulu Papa.
Yo Bible 2 Uniform.
Stephen, Brimfield,
Tom in
Commercial
North
Power,
Brimfield, no traffic. Good day, y'all.
This is
This is
Kilo Charlie 1,
Kilo Charlie 1, Delta Zulu,
Mike,
Delta, Mike in Mozambique, no traffic.
Commercial Power, 2 meter.
And KC1DLA, said Mike in Grammy.
This is Kilo Charlie 1, Uniform Hotel India, Lou in Westfield. Hello to Bill and good evening to all.
This is Kilo Charlie 1, Delta Mike Zulu, Mike in Grammy. Delta Mike Zulu, DMZ. I also got KC1 SCP, KB2U, and Kilo Charlie 1, Sierra, Echo, Whiskey, Mike in West Springfield.
KC1.
Oh, KB2UTP. They did not check in. I want to give them an honorable mention. Also, I have Cable Charlie 1. No, Cable Bravo 1.
VW, X, Y, and Z.
Cable Charlie 1. Need one more. Okay. VW, X, Y, and Z now. This is KB1 IQ.
This is KC1 VWB, Kilo Charlie 1, Victor Whiskey Bravo, Jerry in Southwick, on the 440 side, commercial power. Good evening, folks.
Cherry 1 in Cabell Bravo, Quebec, Morrison in Southwick, 2 near side.
Are there any questions or comments through this net? Good group here. You need an answer to a question. Now's the time to ask. Call N1 FDC.
This is Kilo Delta 1 Kilo Uniform with just some info.
K1KU, KD1KU, this is N1 FDC. Go with your info.
Yeah, the past week, 2 weeks or so have been some really good DX on 40 meters, right? Just about when the gray lines get to us, either in the morning or the afternoon, or late afternoon, just before it's dark. And I've worked probably a dozen Japan stations and even got a South Korea in there, and numerous others too. So it's just been some nice to see the bands improving long haul, you know. That's about it. KD1KU, back to net control.
KB2UTP.
Thank you.
May check in, and I want you to know, I also got the DX, but I think it was lost now due to the rain and snow.
The annual Mount Tom event has been canceled. I think I heard it last week, but if there's anyone from the club who can explain that for anyone who asks me or any of the others, that's an interesting question.
KA1KNW with another question.
To the hand
KW, please hold on. Can anyone reiterate the reasons for that? I don't want to get it wrong.
N1 PVX.
PVX recognized. Go ahead, Steve.
There was very little lack of vendor interest.
There was also a scheduling difficulty, but yeah, that was one of the others, one of the reasons. Was that it, Steve? Over to you.
That's what I got in the email.
Okay, I didn't get that one. Okay, thank you for that. N1 PVX. KA1 KNW.
K1 VWB with a little more on that.
Donna Greg.
Okay, stand by. There was a double, and somebody's going to add information to the last question. But I got another question coming up, so go ahead there.
This is KC1 VWB with an addition to that, if that's okay.
VWB. Acknowledged. Go ahead.
The scheduling conflict happened to be with another event happening not far from us, and ARRL was not going to promote this event because the other one was on the calendar first. Back to you.
Okay, now it's just to happen to have the year pass by. I think the only time we ever missed it was during COVID. All right, thank you for that. This is N1 FTC. Thank you for the info, and thank you for the correction on the double. K1 KNW, K1 KW. This is N1 FTC NCS. Down to you.
This is the W1 TOM receiver.
Kilo Charlie 1 of Beverly, Missouri.
127.3.
All right, thank you there, Phil. Well, I had a question that goes along with that one. I found out about the cancellation of the flea market, so I decided I would get on the Mount Tom website to find out what's happening or to reiterate the information. And the website's closed down. Couldn't get into it for hell or high water, so I called my girlfriend up and I said, hey, you know, see if you can get on the website on the Mount Tom, and she got shut out also. Of course, thoughts went through my head, thinking of all the businesses that failed over the years, and this is what starts to happen. I just, oh no, I hope nothing's happening to the club. So I'm just kind of curious. The two things happen side by side, and it doesn't look good. So maybe nobody knows about the website being shut down. So I tried all different ways to get into it, and I couldn't do it on my cheap little phone, but I called my girlfriend up, and she tried it in different ways. She's got a computer, and she couldn't get into the site either, kept locking her out. Somebody may want to check into that, or maybe somebody knows the answer to that. Back to you there, Phil, N1FDC, KA1, KNW Mobile.
The question being, does anyone know of the IT problem for the Mount Tom Club? Call N1FDC.
N1PVX.
Yes, over to N1PVX.
The long and short of it is the website is hosted by a company called WordPress, and WordPress has made some changes, and the password that worked to modify the website doesn't work anymore, and nobody can get in touch with WordPress to fix it. They would like to put it on a different server. Danny has been building a very beautiful webpage that as soon as we can get our domain name away from WordPress, it'll go up on another server. And kudos to Danny, K1BWQ, because he has done a beautiful job of putting together a new webpage. But yeah, this has been going on for the better part of 2 years now. So don't hold your breath, folks. N1PVX, back to net.
Well, yeah, not good.
PVX is N1FDC. Yes, thank you for that explanation. KA1 KNW, problem explained? Down to you, Greg.
Oh, 100% puts my mind at ease. At least I know that the worst isn't happening. So, yeah, thanks for the information, everybody, and so I hope that this gets expedited very quickly. So, anyways, KA1 KNW Mobile. And thanks a lot.
K1KU.
K1KU with additional. Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, just a little bit. Basically, that is what I've heard also, but WordPress does not host anything, Steve. It's basically not an operating system, but a platform that is formatted from just like HTML or whatever. And personally, doing web design myself in the past, I dislike WordPress for this reason, because just like you said, this has been going on for a long time. I've talked to Danny as well, and he was having trouble getting in touch with somebody. They, like you said, they made updates. Let me drop it for a minute. They made updates, and he got locked out and was unable to do it. I put him in touch with Alan, which thinking he's a whiz at WordPress, and evidently they never got it resolved, so that's got to be why. Anyways, that's my little bit of info. Back to net control, KD1KU.
Thank you for the info. This is N1FDC. And yeah, any additional call N1FDC. Being heard. This is N1FDC, Net Control Station 4. The FDRA information at K1 last call for any late check-ins. Any further comments or questions, please call now.
KC1VWB with a question that's going to be easily answered, but except for my feeble mind.
The only silly question, Jerry, is the one you didn't ask. KC1VWB, this is N1FDCMCS. Go ahead, sir.
So when I'm running my radio on HF, I have the RF gain full. When I run it on 2 meters, I have to turn it down a little more than halfway, or else it pins at 60 dB. And when I'm on 440, I have to turn it down to a quarter open, or it pins up at 60 dB. Is that common?
N1FDC. I can understand it, but being common, let's see, Walter, now we're to K1, KNW, this is N1FDC.
Thank you there, Phil. Yeah, whenever you have a radio that has HF, 6 meters, 2 meters, 440, all in one package, yeah, you got to expect situations like that. It's probably very normal for that radio to be like that. Yeah, so there's the whole science of the radio structure is different than if you had a separate radio for each band. So each band, like the 2 meter side, the 440 side, uses shares components with the HF side. So there's different things going on. So it's probably normal for that kind of radio to do that. I know I think the 706 I think was a classic one for something like that also. So that's a radio that I know that had all that in there, and I know that there was always a conflict or controversy when you get off the HF and get on 2 or 440 with it. So, but I think it's pretty normal. So back to you.
Thank you very much for that answer. And, okay, I just need to memorize that I got to do that. Because it makes me nervous watching the meter go all the way up into 60 decibel so fast that I figure it was going to knock out the tuning room.
Anyway, you got when you're over the air on HF, you need the extra. But when you're on VHF, UHF, like myself, I can literally see Mount Tom. So I don't really need much to get into or out of. KC1VWB, does that answer the question? Over to you.
That sure does. Thank you very much, folks.
That is why we have to answer these questions. If you don't know the answer, ask the question. Once again, are there any other questions, comments, or late check-in? Please call now.
Kilo Charlie 180 Kilo Alpha.
Acknowledged. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Late check-in, KH1IK, Smitty from Westfield. But also, if I may make an announcement, please.
This is the W1 COM repeater, CL127.3.
N1 FDCMCS, please go ahead. KC1FCA. One announcement. Over to you, sir.
All right, thank you. Yeah, we had tentatively scheduled some Skywarn nets for 6, 8, and 10 today, but right now we just have rain, and the icing and snow has not materialized in this immediate area, and we're not supposed to get much. So people want to check into Skywarn. It's not going to happen at 8 o'clock. It may or may not happen at 10. So call up on, check at 10 o'clock, monitor, and we will announce whether or not we'll have a Skywarn net at 10 o'clock. Appreciate that, KH1IK. Back to next call.
That's unfair.
Okay, this is N1 FDC. You know what? Thank you for that. It's going on 5 level. We still have 2 more nets to go. Okay, any additional? Well, N1 FDC.
This is KC1VP, Scotty over in Palmer.
Just want to let you know, KC1NLC. Actually, you could just end the net, and then I have to make my announcement. Just want to let you know that I'll be making an informal Skywarnet announcement. Thank you.
Is scheduled for this Friday at 7 p.m. We have elections of officers going on. We have some nominations on the floor and so forth. And the information that you did get with WordPress is correct. So that's why the site is down. So I just wanted to let everybody know that the meeting is still on at the Knights of Columbus at 7 p.m. on Friday. Thanks.
Very important information. Thank you for that. Are there any other questions, comments? Delay check-in. Call now. Last call. Questions, comments, delay check-in. Check-in. I consider it a very successful net. We had some information coming and going. Much appreciated to all. This has been a regular session of the MTARA Information Net, which is held every Wednesday, beginning at 7:30. This time we to thank you all for checking in too. Everyone, TOM repeaters, MTARA. If user repeaters, please support MTARA membership keeps things on the air. November 1, Foxtrot Delta Charlie transmitter back to normal. Stay tuned for the MTARA swap list, followed by the N1RLX. Emergency, Simplex 773. Be back, let's see, about a minute or so. Just keep things moving on here.
KA1KNW with a quick suggestion.
Informal for the next minute. Great.
Okay, no problem. I was just thinking because this is why I checked into the net. Now that there's no way to get any information out of Mount Tom via the internet, maybe there should be some voice announcements on the repeater ID that could be recorded, so people would know how to become a member of Mount Tom. You know, and how much is the dues, and you know where to mail it. So that might be a cool thing to do, since there's no other way to get the info for people out there eager to join. So that's my suggestion, and I know that most of the people are listening, and maybe you can make that happen. I think that would help out, maybe bring in a couple of new members. So back to you, Phil, and I know the swap message is starting up. KA1KNW Mobile.
This is N1 SDC. It's not a bad idea. I don't know how much of a paper that would be, but okay, that is an idea. All right. Anything further before we start the swap net?
This is KG1. We just rebuttal on that. We also have a site on Facebook, Mount Tom Facebook. So if anybody needs information on meeting time, information on membership is listed over there. Okay, good info. Thank you.
I've never had any social media. I'm not interested. But get non-members of Facebook check in. That's just for general information.
WB with the answer for that one?
Our alternate website.
Thank you for that. RTKC1BWB. What did you have, Brother Jerry?
It sounds like I doubled up with somebody who answered it properly, so we're off that.
You one and all. Any additional traffic before we begin tonight's net? Nothing. Or good evening once more, and welcome to the MDARA SWATnet. This is November 1, Foxtrot Delta Charlie, my control for this evening. Our net is held every Wednesday around 8 p.m. or after the info. The purpose of this net is to help amateurs buy, swap, and sell ham radio and related items, as well as computer-related items. SWATnet has 6 simple rules. No bargaining is allowed on the airwaves. However, it is an asking price and give a brief description of each item. Please give your name, or some way you can be reached, or number, or some way you can be reached after the net. At this time, are there any licensed amateurs on frequency with items for sale, swap, or something you're looking for? Please call now.
Here is KA1 KNW Mobile. I got a couple of items.
Has been repaired. KA1 KNW ticket, this is 1 FTC.
All right, thank you there, Phil. Well, since nobody wanted to buy those 2 radios I had last week for sale in their unrepaired state, I decided I'd get proactive and repair one of the radios. So I took the one of the radios, opened it up, and started troubleshooting, and I got the radio working, and it works great. I've had it on the air and operational, and it's been on the power supply and running constantly since Sunday night. Because I always like to, after I fix radios, I like to burn them in, make sure that no other little gremlins pop up. Anyways, I'll tell you what it is. It's a RCI 2995 CD. It's the newest version with the blue display with the black background. And I'll tell you, the radio's a blast to operate. It's 12 meters, 10 meters, and everything in between. The radio puts out 150 watts on sideband, about 50-55 watts on AM and FM, and it's got multi-modes. You can do CW, AM, FM, so to do sidebands, and it's a really unique radio. It's a big radio, rack mounted. It's got the 19-inch rack mount screws on it, and the grab handles, and it's got a fan kit on it. And I got the box that it came in, the packing, and a microphone, and an owner's manual. So I did put a couple of memories in it to make sure everything was okay. I was talking on it all 3 days. It's working perfectly. So I got a nice, perfect RCI 2995 base station radio. It plugs into the wall. It's got a self-contained power supply. Just plug it into the AC outlet and hook your antenna up to it, and you're off to the races. And the nice thing about that, kids can operate that radio voice and can work the world with it. And all the CB antennas work. You got an Antron 99 or an old ground plane, Radio Shack ground plane or something. Just hook it up and off to the races you go. So there's been some really good 10-meter openings lately. So I've worked Brazil, I worked South America, I worked all the states down by California on this radio. So far so good. And I've been having a blast with it. I can see why a lot of people like these radios because they are kind of cool. And so anyways, it's all repaired. Everything's working great on that radio. And I'll get $550 for that. You can look that up on any website. Brand new. They're $8.99, brand new. I checked it up on was it CB World and what's the other one I looked at? But anyways, they were $8.99 on both sites. So this is almost like brand new conditions. There's no scratches, dents, or anything on it. Bad part on it is where the label says Ranger on the side that they covered up the entrance screws. They had to puncture the label to unscrew the screw. So that's the only defect in the radio is cosmetically. Let me do a recap. Ay, ay, ay. I don't know what the timer's set for. Okay, so how much you didn't hear?
Hey, what, kid? Been one FTC. They got everything but the last word, and I think it's 90 seconds back to you. Hey, what, kid? Don't put the timeout. This has been one FTC.
Okay, very good. But I'll just reiterate on the pricing. So on the working radio, it works perfectly. I had a lot of fun with it. I hate to give it up, but $550 on the working radio and $150 on the one that needs repair. The one that needs repair is the one where somebody wired the switch hot all the time. So why they did that, I don't know. I didn't get into that. I just saw the red wire in the back of the switch and realized what they did. Some people do that when they have a power strip and they want to turn everything on all at once without throwing all these switches. So it could be that, or maybe there's a defective switch in there. I don't know. Anyways, $150 for the one that needs repair and $550 for the one that's working. So I could be reached at area code 860-490-3848. I'll give that one more time. That's area code 860-490-3848. Back to you there, Phil. KA1, KNW Mobile.
K1, this is N1 FTC MCS. Any questions for Greg? Call him. K1, KNW is direct. Luck with those KA1, KNW. Are there any other listings for the swap? Call us one FTC. Good. Once again, good luck with those. All right, this has been another session of MPARA SwapNet held every Wednesday after the InfoNet. Stay tuned for the O1RLX emergency simplex net. We'll start that in about a minute. Keep things moving along, and then they would need to use the repeater. We heard this is still November 1, Foxtrot, Delta Charlie. Still is Night Control Station 4. Again, 1RLX, emergency, simple like that. That means every Wednesday after the swap net that moves to a simplex frequency 46.55. Again, 1RLX, emergency, simplex net is a formal net with the purpose to provide communications training to link communities during emergency and crisis situations. Answer questions pertaining to simplex and emergency communications. check-in now. Checking in, let's see for the following information. Your call sign using proper phonetics. Current location and the power on Simplex. Stations we'd like to check in. First letter suffix Alpha through Mike. Please call now. Here is. Here is Whiskey 1 Juliet Zulu Romeo. Gary in Holyoke. We'll be running 200 watts. Good evening, Phil, and all those on the net. Barely that are. Next call group in. First letter suffix November to Papa. Please call now.
This is the W1 TOM repeater. CL127.3.
Here is November 1, pop-out, Victor X-ray, Stephen Westfield, and we'll be 50 watts tonight, Phil.
Here is Kilo Charlie 1 Oscar Victor Romeo Dave in Southampton, and I'll be 25 watts tonight.
Welcome in 1 PBX. 1 to the 25 watt K. C1 OVR. Last call group is first letter suffix Quebec Zulu. Please call now. Any other check-ins for the N1 RLX emergency simplex? First letter suffix Alpha through Zulu. We heard on simplex all call stations in order that you checked in. Please keep note if you're here and there's signal strength. So it's better in the winter than in the summer. For stations that may have missed us here on the repeater. We'll now move it up to 146.55. 146.55. Make sure your radio is set to simplex. Changing frequency. The RLX emergency simplex set necessary frequency array for use of the repeater. This is November 1. Foxtrot Delta Charlie temporarily signed the 94. This is frequency in use. This is frequency in use. Nothing heard. This is November 1. Foxtrot Delta Charlie. Or the O1 RLX emergency simplex net. Listen for the following station starting us off this evening. W1JZR, W1JZR. This is N1 FDC.
N1 FDC, perfect signal. Full scale, 13 bars as always. Back to net control from W1JZR.
Okay, W1 JZR, thank you, and it's always full scale here. Into net control. This is N1FDC. C4, N1PBX. N1PBX. This is N1FDC. Another member of the Full Scale Club. Over to you.
All right, anyway.